We're in June and nearly half of 2024 has already gone and things are going crazy, obviously, with the Pokemon market right now. I did a video recently where I talked about the boom, the 2020 boom of Pokemon is still here even in 2024, and it's looking at not even slowing down, to be honest, with Scarlet and Violet just going crazy, with a lot of these top cards going up and up and up, and now booster boxes are on the rise. 2024 is looking pretty insane, especially with Sword and Shield as well. But today we're looking at 5 great sealed products to pick up this month for June, because there's some really big opportunities here, especially on these sealed products. Let's jump into it. So today we take a look at 5 plus an honorable mention Pokemon sealed products to pick up this month. I'm not just looking at booster boxes today. We'll be looking at a variety of different Pokemon sealed product from the Scarlet and Violet era and a little bit of the Sword and Shield era, of course. Now with these, I do feel like these are good pickups right now before they start to climb in price, because a lot of them are out of print and we'll soon start to see climbs. So get in there while you still can. But if you want to, of course, you don't have to buy these. These are just some suggestions. Let's jump in with the honorable mention on TCG Player. Let's get into it. Right, on the honorable mentions, we have the Silver Tempest booster box. Now, with Silver Tempest, it is doing pretty well, right? It's already on the rise. I mean, it's sold out here in the Pokemon Center over here in the UK. And we've started to see a little bit of rise of it. It's around about 130, 140 here, so it hasn't quite picked up insane pace, but it's on the rise. Lugia is doing very, very well. The rest of the set, however, is not really doing much. It's pretty much the Lugia or bust. You've got the Rayquaza, which is doing like okay, but the rest of the set with the overall arts and the trainer gallery is kind of poor. So that's one downside. But the booster box is doing pretty well, right? We've seen across the board with Sword and Shield a lot of the sets going up and up and up, and especially if they have alt arts and trainer gallery. So, you know, we've already seen Astral Radiance go up, Lost Origin, and of course Brilliant Stars. Now it's Silver Tempest's turn. We're looking at 161 for a box, and if I'm being honest, it's going to keep going, right? We go back over the past year and we can see this is the highest it's been in the past year, and it had a reprint, right? It was like trending at 150, then the reprint came at the end of last year, which dropped it down along with Lost Origin, but Lost Origin went a little bit crazy and Silver Tempest is yet to climb. So I'll put this as honorable mention just because the price point is now starting to climb. But it's still a really good one. Starting at number 5, we have a UPC. We have the 151 Ultra Premium Collection Box. Now, I was trying to think about different 151 products to put in this list, because right now 151 is going absolutely crazy. And I was like, you know what? I think the UPC, as it stands, is pretty good, right? It's at the moment less than retail, which is what you want it to be. So we're looking at $113. Now with 151, the booster packs get more and more pricey, right? Over here in the UK, we're looking at around $7.50 minimum per pack, which is getting pretty insane. It's more than retail. Is there going to be a reprint? You know, I get asked that so much. Is 151 getting a reprint? It should get a reprint. I mean, I don't think it's had one since its release. Or maybe if it did, it was very, very small. And what would they reprint? You know, which product would they go for? I would think they would go for the Elite Trainer boxes. But the UPCs right now, I think, are probably one of the best ones to pick up. You know, you do get the promos, you do get the playmat and the accessories. And you do get 16 packs. You know, you do get a decent amount of packs of 151. And with the prices of the packs going up and up and up, this is becoming more and more appealing. Now, down the line, now to open this is great. Now, down the line, I do feel like this is going to be a good product to have as well. Because premium collections usually do quite well. Of course, there's a lot more of this around, and with the price, I think it's fine. You know, I said this is probably not worth buying for all the hype price it was going for, as we saw with these big spikes before the release. And then after that, I mean, it dropped below $100. So now it's slowly trickling up. So now's a good time to pick this one up. 151's going crazy, but if I had to pick one product, I'd probably just go for the UPC. Number 4, we have Paldea Evolved Booster Box. Now, I've been talking about Paldea Evolved quite a bit, and it's already on the climb. Now, the reason why a lot of people, like myself, are talking about Paldea Evolved is it has big chase cards, which people like, Magikarp, Iono, you know, Tyranitar, stuff like that. But not only that, is this set is over a year old, and it's getting closer and closer to the end of its print cycle, right? Now, normally sets tend to be in print for up to 2 years. Now, for it, usually they don't really last 2 years. It's more like 18 months, to be honest. So we're looking at Paldea Evolved, $128. Would there be a reprint? I would like for there to be a reprint. I wouldn't be surprised if there is going to be a reprint of this, just to, you know, put the box down a little bit. I mean, $130 already is pretty impressive. You know, this is the first out of all of the Scarlet and Violet era sets that is starting to move upwards, right? You can still pick this up over here in the UK for like 100 a box, quite comfortably. So it's not gone too crazy over here. There's still a lot of it around, which is kind of strange for it to go up. If you go back over the past year, of course, this set has been out longer than a year. Hasn't really done much. It was cheap. You could have picked it up for $90 quite comfortably, but only recently has it started to climb quite a bit. Is this going to be the first Scarlet and Violet era set to, I mean, if you want to say take off? Look, if a reprint comes, no, that is getting washed right down. But you've got to be a little bit careful, I think, with how they're evolved. The likelihood of reprints, I think, is still high, but every month that passes, it becomes a little bit less. Only because, like I say, this set is over a year old now. Scarlet and Violet base is over a year old. City in Flames is, I think, nearly a year old. So we're getting to, you know, pretty interesting territory with a lot of these sets. So you've got to be a little bit careful. In number 3, we have Crown Zenith ETB. Now, I had to, again, try and pick a product in the Crown Zenith range. Of course, I could go with the Pokemon Center, but no, we're going for the regular ETB. Mainly because Crown Zenith is a fantastic set. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Some of the best pull rates we've ever seen. It is the end of an era, of the Sword and Shield era, which kind of ended with an absolute bang, to be honest. This set is incredible. Now, this set did get printed a lot. It had a really long release window. It was like released over like 5 months. And there was so much product of Crown Zenith. And then they did a reprint as well of the ETBs further down the line. So it's one of these things where, like, I talk about like 151 with the ETB reprint. I look at Crown Zenith and go, hang on a minute. So they printed a lot. They had a long print run, or a long release window, should I say, of Crown Zenith. And then the ETB, sorry, started to go up. And then they reprinted them. And then the prices went down. And the prices stayed around 40 to 45 for a very long time. And the part of me is like, they printed a lot of 151. But there hasn't been a reprint. And we're starting to see booster packs go for 50% more than retail. Bit strange. Bit of a weird one, that. But anyway, Crown Zenith ETB is on the uprise. Mainly because, well, anyway, over here, I don't know if it's the same over in the US, but over here, no longer available at distribution, so you're going to start seeing them become less and less available. Already over here in the UK, we've already started to see Crown Zenith starting to rise. ETBs, which you could have quite comfortably picked up for 40, 45 a box, now you're looking at 50, 55. It's now on the rise. Let's take a look. We're looking at $50. As you can see, it is now on the rise. You probably find it might also be out of distribution over in the US as well, and that's probably one of the reasons why we've having this recent spike. So it's about the same time frame. I talked to my friend who has a store here, and he was saying, Jace, you know what? I can't order anymore. What I've got is what I've got. So, hey, look, we started to see the single card prices rise for Crown Zenith. Now is the time. Over the past year, this is what I'm saying, right? So it was on the uptick. Now, bearing in mind, it came out at the beginning of, well, 2023, and it started to tick up and up and up, and it had a long release window, and then it started to trickle back up again, and they did a reprint, and that's where that big drop came. I mean, you could pick them up for as low as $38, and then it started to trickle back up. So it's nowhere back up to where it used to be, but it's doing pretty well, right? We could be looking at maybe like a Champions Path level ETB. I mean, it could even be a Hidden Fates one down the line. So it's one to take into consideration. This is not going to be like a booster box where you're going to see it be going for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, but I do feel like it's going to do very well. In number 2, we have a Battle Styles. It's weird. Talk about Battle Styles being a really good set to invest in, mainly because no one really gave a crap about Battle Styles. I like Battle Styles. It was the set I went for first to get a master set. I love it, you know, and it's doing well. You know, my boy T-Tar is climbing nearly $200 for that card, and more of the set is doing well. And the thing is, it's the first of the alt art era, right? It's the first of the alt arts from the Sword and Shield. Pull rates are terrible, always were, and around that time the pull rates in Sword and Shield was shocking. But you know what? The booster box is doing alright. $136. It's still the cheapest. I believe it's the cheapest. Might not. Yeah, I think it's still the cheapest booster box on Sword and Shield. Might be between this and maybe Vivid Voyage. But this is actually still on the rise, right? You look at this. over $100, and it's starting to rise. We'll go back over the past year, and you can really see that Battle Styles is on the climb. Over here in the UK, this is quite tricky to get hold of. Don't forget, this set is quite old. You know, look at what, 3 years, something like that. So yeah, it's getting harder and harder to get hold of. You're looking at about 130 a box over here, I think, maybe even more. So yeah, Battle Styles is getting harder and harder to get hold of. I like it. It is on the rise, right? Even if it went up to say 200 and it just stayed there, buying it at 136 or around 130, not too bad. Coming in number 1, we have the Charizard UPC. It is climbing, and there is good reason, because the packs you get in here are stacked. Right, so in this product you get 16 booster packs. You get 1 Darkness Ablaze, 1 Vivid Voltage, 3 Fusion Strike, 3 Astral Radiance, 3 Brilliant Stars, 2 Lost Origin, and 3 Evolving Skies. On top of that, you get the playmat and all the promos. Yeah, this is an insane box, and it always was a good box. Like, if you wanted to open this, really good value, to be fair. And it is beautiful promos. You get really, really nice promos in here. There was just a ton of this around. There was a lot of hype when this first got released, and, you know, people were paying for the absolute nose to get hold of these and queuing up, and oh, it was crazy. Honestly, it was mental. But Pokemon, they just printed the living daylights out of it, and that's why it remained cheap for the longest time. So let's take a look. So it's $165 market price for the UPC. Over here in the UK, guys, you can still get this for like 100, 110. It hasn't gone up that much over here. I think in some places you might be able to get it a little bit cheaper, maybe even less than 100. But 110 is probably the most expensive I've seen it, you know, on eBay and places like that. But yeah, UPC, I still think it's good, right? You're looking at Evolving Skies. They are approaching, what, $11 a pack, $12 a pack. Over here in the UK, you're looking at 13 to 14 pound a booster pack for Evolving Skies. Things are getting crazy. Like, things are getting legit crazy. Then you look at the other packs in there, right? Lost Origin is on the rise. Brilliant Stars on the rise. Fusion Strike's on the rise. Astral Radiance on the rise. Alright, you get Vivid and a Darkness Ablaze. Okay. I have actually opened up 2 UPCs, maybe in the last 6 months. They didn't have any Vivid Voyage and no Darkness Ablaze, but had 5 Fusion Strike packs. I don't know if that's a recent wave that have come, but where you get more Fusion Strike, but that's a lot better in my opinion. The promos are actually going up in value as well. I've started to see more and more of these promos starting to trickle up. You know, they were going for around about 20 or so pounds over here in the UK, maybe 20, 24 a push, like 8 each, something like that. Now you look at 30, 35, so they're now starting to trickle up a little bit with the promos as well. But yeah, we're looking at this. I mean, you could have picked this up for super cheap. I mean, anywhere around $100. This was an absolute steal, and it's on the rise. Could it be, you know, going up to that same value as the Celebrations UPC? I think if these Sword and Shield era sets continue to climb, which down the line I do believe they will, I think this will be a very, very sought after product. Sounds crazy. There was a lot of it around. It don't matter. Because of the sets that's in here, this will be a huge product down the line. There you have it, guys. Those are 5 great products plus an honorable mention to pick up this month in June. And that's the thing. So many things right now are worth picking up. Now, there are some Sword and Shield era stuff which I would probably suggest probably not to pick up, mainly because they have kind of plateaued in their climb as it stands. They might go up even more over time, but they start to plateau. We started to see the Fusion Strike booster boxes, Lost Origin booster boxes, Hidden Rain, and Evolving Skies. They've kind of plateaued a little bit. Astral Radiance, Brilliant Stars, Silver Tempest, and Battle Styles are still trickling up. And then Scarlet and Violet. I mean, you look at Paldea Evolved. You could have put Paradox Rift, another great one to pick up. Temporal Forces as well. But you gotta be careful, right? I think anything that's like 90 or less is a steal. Is really worth picking up, even if it's Scarlet and Violet base. But yeah, I think right now some of the UPCs are gonna be very good. Arceus UPC is also a pretty good one as well. But yeah, Charizard 1 is going to do bits. 151 though, you got to be careful. If there is going to be a reprint coming, we could get absolutely hammered with prices dropping left, right and center. So approach it with caution. If you've made it far into the video, guys, and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button and make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content. And what are you looking to pick up this month? For me, I'm actually looking at picking up some UPCs. I might actually pick up some 151 UPCs and Charizard ones. I have 2 Charizard UPCs. I might go for a little bit more. Like I say, over here in the UK, they're still a little bit cheap. They're still around about 100. So I might pick some up. They are a bit bulky though, so they do take up quite a lot of room, which is a downside, but they're still pretty good. If you want to know what's going on in the Pokemon sealed card market right now, then make sure to click the video on the screen. If you watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright guys, that's it from me in today's video. As always, you guys are legends. I'll see you in the next one.